a hobby shop, right?
Well, it was a hobby shop attached to it. Yeah.
Your dad had a hobby shop?
Yeah, for remote control planes and boats.
He did?
Yeah.
I just never knew that.
Well, that's what he does.
I knew he was into it, but he had his own shop?
He had his own shop and built it himself, and then
Like onto the house?
It was a separate building outside the house.
Really?
There's a lot of space out there.
Yeah.
So, and even with that, the backyard was rather large. And then, but yeah, you go down the street, and it ends and just turns into this endless wilderness, which is really awesome.
Is this an appropriate place to tell your hobby shop diarrhea story?
Please.
Oh man.
Yes, more poop stories. We haven't had one in a long time.
I guess there's no way to back out of it.
Nope.
I just remember like leaning, because I mean you're like 10, let's preface this with like
Well, it's okay.
I think we all have like random diarrhea stories of like 10 years old, like, well,
Not a one.
Well,
I
I don't
think I wouldn't have told it already.
Don't believe that for a second.
Done 100 of these.
Never shit your pants. Never.
No.
I don't.
I've shit my pants.
I don't believe that for a second.
Never mind.
So
problem last weekend.
but yeah, I just go out and like I've been sick, like out of school or just out. I've been genuinely sick for a while, and it was summer, and I'm wearing shorts. And I remember going out to the shop and like being in the room, and then like we're gonna go eat, and then I think like I gotta fart. I'm just gonna let this go, and I mean blammo down both legs,
Brown jams
to my heels is just diarrhea town.
Okay.
and I just excused myself quietly.
It would have been better if you started crying. Just
No, I didn't cry.
Weeping uncontrollably.
No, I knew this was my bad. So
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. You thought it was a fart. You know your body.
Yeah. And again.
What did you eat though?
I don't know. Hot Pockets,
Let's
Randy,
see.
Chef Boyardee.
Other diarrhea.
See, man, no wonder it converted so fast. It was already done.
Yeah.
I did a similar instance. My story was it was the first time I'd moved out of my parents' house at the ripe old age of 21.
When I moved out.
I moved out of the house and went back for Christmas dinner. Drove, put on a nice pair of khakis, and like, this is nice.
Khakis.
This is nice.
Wow,
Yeah, my khakis. I got my Dockers on.
I gotta say, this is clearly Old Navy 2000 here.
And then, but it's also I'd been living on my own for most of the year, meaning I don't cook. I've been eating like tater tots with Shrek green ketchup, which was quite popular at the time.
How would you let yourself eat Shrek
ketchup?
ketchup?
Shrek ketchup. It was when I went shopping.
Knowing
for
how
the
much
first
you hate
time,
Shrek and DreamWorks.
When I went, I liked the idea. My butter was blue. I got the kids' blue butter. I was like, holy shit, I'm shopping for myself. This is great. I got the bologna shaped like SpongeBob, like everything that was dumb, and my house. It was more like I'm surprised this exists, therefore I'll buy it and make it a staple of my diet. Totino's pizzas. I go back to Christmas dinner. It's like nice. It's like here's some lamb, mashed potatoes, and I think what did it was a glass of milk. I walk out of the house, just like so cliched. Throw the basketball hook shot in the old basket. It's nice to be back here.
Right.
I think I have to fart, and then just a cataract of baby diarrhea just goes down my pants, all over my nice Dockers, and into my shoe. And I had to make like this rough decision sitting there, like I know what just happened without looking. Do I get in my car and get poop on my seats? Or hey guys, you ready to keep going? And I found an old pair of pants, put them in the wash, wash that diarrhea right out of my hair.
Your story, I thought, was more like you were in the shop and you had shit so bad, and there was like a customer who was like trying to get help, and he was like,
"Did you sugarcoat
you
this?
Have
No.
A car with the like he was speaking so slowly.
No,
Like, oh, Jesus.
I think you've embellished on this to make it better.
I think you did, and now you won't embellish again.
No,
This isn't kind of the thing that Matt would make up.
it's
too specific.
Make that up.
I've never.
How many people do you know shit their pants at a hobby shop?
No, I've never told this story any other way. Like I was leaning against.
I have a known terrible memory.
That
a known
is
thing.
accurate.
Yes,
And
I mixed up TV. Like I thought things that happened to me actually happened on TV, and vice versa. I told a story the other day to a friend, and I was like, I told him a story of Marge Simpson and Bart, and I told it to him as if it was me and my mom. And later I was like, no, that was The Simpsons. That's concerning. Like I might have a serious problem.
You would do like the whole time growing up, like you'd be like, "Oh, Brad, I gotta tell you this crazy story," and you start it, and I'm like, "This sounds really familiar," and I'm like, "That was me," and you'll be like, "Yes," you're like, What? No.
And that would like mess it up. You're like, no, that was me, and that wasn't Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That was
It was Bucky O'Hare.
It was Silverhawks.
God.
Anybody else shit their pants in an amusing fashion?
I wouldn't say it was amusing. I was
Deadly serious.
deadly serious shit. I was at a friend's house. He lived a couple doors down from me.
3 doors down? Good old band, man.
Maybe 3 doors down.
Sing a song about
might have been
Superman.
3
It might have literally been 3 doors down.
Who's from Illinois?
And yeah.
No, Superman, not 3 doors down.
So I was down at his house and in his backyard, and I think the moment I got to his house, I farted and shit my pants. Like, seriously shit them.
Not a joke.
Wait,
Not
so
a
like
joke.
not
Not
diarrhea,
funny.
just like you
It-
rose up on the logs you created for yourself?
It was... It's like a weird shit, you know, like the shit that it squirts out and it's like a yellow with...
Yeah, baby
chunk-
diarrhea yellow.
Yeah, like that. And I did that, and I felt it right in my ass cheeks. And I
Nice.
immediately clamped them shut.
No, no more. You shall not
I'm like,
pass.
no more. And then I waddled through the backyards until I got home, and then went inside and wiped my ass. Well, I changed my underwear as well. I didn't go back over there with the shitty underwear.
No?
No.
It was underwear in the woods? You just find them on the ground?
I found some shitty underwear before.
Always bring spare underwear. Always bring spare underwear.
This didn't happen to me. Oh, I wanted to point out real quick. I like how the conversation went from Illinois to shit.
Shit. Yeah, that's what you get for having me on this show. I opted to sit out.
So this is another Illinois friend who I'm sure Brett has talked about many times on various podcasts. But Brian. So we were 4-wheeling, which doesn't really happen here much. It's out in the middle of nowhere, and you're like, there's no bathrooms around. So like, so Brian was primarily driving because it was his. So I'm mostly in the back. We're driving around, and he was kind of teaching me how to do it. Anyway, we stopped, and he jumped off, and he's like, he had only described to me how to do it. He's like, okay, get out, you go now, drive, and I'm like, oh shit, okay, what? So I just kind of like started, it's like figuring out driving badly, and he's like running into the woods, and I'm like,
With his hand on his
I
butt.
expected him to jump off and like jump back on, you know, and he's running into the woods, and he's like flagging me, like I can see him from a distance now, flagging me on. I'm like, okay, so I just like do a couple of laps, right? And I come back, and I'm like, he's running out of the woods this time. This time he does jump in the back, and he's like, go, go, go! And I'm like, what? And I noticed there was something hanging on a branch nearby, and I'm like, okay. So we drive, and when we stop, he explains he had to shit instantly, like the kind of shit we have to go like now. So he runs over, and we were actually like in the gigantic wilderness backyard of a neighbor, right? So he said he took his pants, he pulled his pants off, and he just shit on the forest ground, right? And he didn't have anything to wipe his ass with. And all he saw was leaves, and he was afraid of poison ivy up in his junk or whatever. So he used his underwear to wipe his ass. And he hung it on a branch.
I've seen that so many times, and I never knew why.
Why is there underwear on this branch?
The Johnny Apple shit.
Toilet paper underwear.
Oh, that, yeah. I told that story. It's too super. We had just gotten cars, so we went to this developing neighborhood. There was a grand opening, and they built 3 houses. So there's like a waterfall and a bridge and nothing in the middle of nowhere, and we were going to build an underground fort. So we dug for 3 days, dug underground. We were going to wire it with electricity. It's fucking craziness. And then, of course, we would eat McDonald's beforehand, friend to take a dump, went and did it, and then fell backwards. And fell backwards when he was done and stepped in his own leavings. And then we went over to our other friend's house, who we wouldn't tell about the secret fort just yet, to go play some video games. And he's like, dude, you tracked in shit on my bed. I'm like, and the other guys are like, dude, that's gross. Dog shit on his bed. And like me and him just both looked at one another like, that's incredible. I have pooped on my friend's bed.
Now, I don't have any horrible shit stories, but my memory is about as good as Matt's here. So I know one of you was sick, stayed home, and was too lazy to go to the toilet.
That sounds like Brett.
That's sounding like Brett.
No, that's me.
Oh, that's you. Okay.
That's the Ninja Gaiden 3 incident.
Oh, have you shared
What?
that already?
Yeah,
No,
where I sat on the towel and my asshole was constantly
that's
leaking.
right. That's right.
And it was again that yellow.
God!
You heard that?
Whoa!
I was super sick. And
Leaky
like it
asshole.
was that yellow baby.
Yeah, yeah.
diarrhea shit.
Okay.
And I was sitting on the towel playing Ninja Gaiden 3. Like, this game is great. But I had to sit on the ground. I didn't want to leave a spot on my carpet.
The 360
one,
right?
That's barbaric. You got to sit on a towel to absorb it.
I totally agree.
See?
I totally agree. That was smart thinking.
Was it you who took a shit and you know that when you have these small chunks, it can sometimes look like it spells a word and it's spelled slum?
No, but I have been taking pictures of my shit and sending them to friends.
Yo, I have a question.
Somebody took a charm dump that spelled out words?
It was the word slum.
Holy shit.
I think it was Brian, that other guy. Oh, another Brian story. Oh, this is great.
That takes 3 letters. 4 letters. That's
slum.
Think about that.
And
think about the
S
size.
is complicated. The S has all these twists and turns. That like your butt's up to a whole lot when that's going on.
I couldn't do that without a rascal scooter with a hole in the seat.
So this same guy, this is the same 4-wheeler guy, and apparently the slum guy. He had all kinds of interesting shits, and this is my last shit story.
I know. I'm so glad we took it here.
So he worked at a Subway, and
anything?
He was at a mall. So it's the kind of, you're gonna love this. It's the kind of Subway where it was at a mall, so it's like there's always constant foot traffic, even if it's not lunch hour or something, right? But like, so you walk up and you know how it is. Like you can see into the food, and you can see a little bit back there, and
right past the sneeze guard.
Yeah, past the sneeze guard, everything. So Brian's there and he's working alone, and he has to shit. So rather than just being like, well, you know, customers gonna have to wait, it's not rush hour or anything, he has the bright idea of this. He takes a What do you call these crates that you hold milk in? You know, they've got the handles on the sides.
The
are
ones that
plastic.
hold your records now.
Yeah, they're always like red. Yeah, those things. Him in dorm rooms and stuff. So they had those around. So he brought one of those behind the counter, and he put a trash bag in it, and then he just squatted right behind.
Still making sandwiches as a midget.
So he just did it right there. And I remember he told me the story, it blew my mind, and I'm like, what was your plan if someone walked up and wanted a sandwich? And he's like, oh, that would have been really bad.
Really bad.
That would have been terrible. I didn't have my pants on or anything.
There's still something about that, even if he told his boss, his commitment to the work.
It's true. It's true. His boss is only half mad. He's like, I'm very disappointed, but I appreciate your work ethic.
But the dedication.
Right there.
There's a camera.
There's a camera right there, so he's on film somewhere.
The shitting sandwich artist.
Making a makeshift toilet.
We should check YouTube.
Man shits in
Unknown
Subway.
man in Illinois.
All right.
That reminds me, though, of another,
goodness.
like on Brian, speaking of video cameras, when we thought we were so clever, when our mall got the first like photo booth, where you put quarters in and it takes like 4 pictures and you get the film strip, and we thought we were so funny. Brian gets in and like takes most of his clothes off.
He was at most in underwear.
And just is like just being ridiculous. And we're like got our jackets up and covering it in so no one can look in and see. And like, haha, we're so clever.
All making Beavis and Butthead noises.
Yeah, nobody will see these funny pictures of our friend being naked.
It was also at least vaguely homoerotic.
Yes, like very much like, who is this for? Like, why are we laughing about this? And it's in the middle of a food court, so that's why.
It was the busiest part.
It's the busiest part of the mall. And then I take a step back and look up. There's a fucking TV on top of this.
Oh yeah,
thing.
that was all broadcast.
That's broadcasting
sides.
Everything that is being shown on here, and I'm like.
You and I don't remember. I
gave up
everything about that story except for what happened once we realized.
I don't know. I walked away.
Did we take a mad dash out the door?
I think Brian was pissed or something because we like abandoned him.
He was very vulnerable.
I was like, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, okay.
Remember that time though? He was at a toilet and there was no toilet paper. He'd already shit like a huge shit in the toilet. And then he crawled underneath the stalls with his shitty ass underneath the stalls to get to another one to wipe his ass.
You wipe his ass like a puppy just by scrubbing on the tile.
And then, like, if somebody comes on later, there's just a shit in a toilet with the door locked and no toilet paper.
He just vanished. It became an urban legend.
Did somebody just not wipe their ass?
and then jumped over the side.
Yeah.
Someone's been here.
Okay,
we do need to take a break.
Audible really needs to needs to weigh in on this.
All right. This is already a make good. I don't know if it worked. We'll be later time. We'll be right back with Illinois stories with a tinge of
that or shit.
Or that or shit. That's universal.
Can you